It is 6 a.m. and you're watching Denver 7 News, making sure students and teachers are safely equipped to head back to school.
Older teachers need more protection.
I'm Denver 7's MICAH Smith with a preview of the big delivery to keep our schools safe.
Plus, President Trump says some COVID patients shouldn't be considered real cases.
Those cases are young people that would heal in a day. They have the sniffles and we put it down as a test.
Honoring the lives lost in the Aurora theater shooting 8 years ago.
Every year at this time we come together to remember those that we lost and the heroes that were saved that night.
Overnight, the community came together to make sure those victims are never forgotten.
It's healing and people died and we need to remember.
Show you the new artwork you can still see this morning. Good Monday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. We have a rare day hovering around 90 today across the Front Range. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us from her home weather center. And Lisa, only 3 days have been below the 90-degree mark in July.
It's been a really warm month, and today we're going to be right around that mark, so we could hit that 90 officially out at the airport, which would keep that at 3 days so far this month. We've got a beautiful start here from City Park, though a little bit of cloud cover, so a good-looking start to our Monday morning. It's a pretty mild one, too. You're looking at 60s and 70s this morning. We'll be at about 75 degrees by 8 o'clock, and then again, yeah, right around 90 between 1 and 3, so just a few degrees cooler than what we saw this weekend. Denver 90, Fort Collins 92, Lyman 89. 70s and 80s for the mountains. There is going to be a risk for a little severe weather today, mainly east of I-25. You can see the marginal risk there in green. We'll take a closer look at the timing of the storms, not only today, but later in the week, coming up here in just a few minutes. Katie?
Lisa, thank you. And you can see that sunshine, a live look there from 6th Avenue, a little bit blinding in spots. So do be prepared for that if you have to leave the door and leave the house rather than the next few minutes or so. You can see from the map overall, we're dealing with mainly clear conditions across the metro, but we are getting word just in of an accident that's reported here at I-70 and 225 could cause some delays here on that 70 eastbound drive in the next little while. An earlier accident has been cleared on East Hamden and South Gun Club Road, so roads are wide open. On the east side of town, out to the west, only about a 10 to 12-minute drive on eastbound and westbound I-70 from I-25 out to 6th Avenue, and then the drive there on I-76, so pretty clear at this hour.
A big part of our state's rebound from the pandemic is making sure our kids and teachers return to school in a safe environment. And that means making sure schools are equipped with the necessary protective gear. Denver 7's MICAH Smith is live this morning. And MICAH, Denver Public Schools will receive a large delivery of personal protective equipment today.
Molly, DPS is expecting a truckload's worth of PPE, and that truckload will include hand sanitizer, microfiber towels, gloves, and other types of PPE, which will be delivered to the school district's warehouse. Now, according to DPS, after months of trying to acquire more PPE, the district now has hundreds of these items inside of their storage facility. Last week, DPS announced its plan to start the school year with remote learning until at least September 8th. The district also shared steps it would like to take to get students back into the classroom. That plan includes delivering PPE to schools, making sure there is at least 1 thermometer for every 40 students, 2 cloth masks per student, and face shields. DPS Superintendent Susanna Cordova says the district is working with community partners on a possible COVID-19 testing plan before schools return to in-person learning later this year. Cordova says for those students who test positive or come in contact with someone who tests positive for COVID-19, protocols will include isolation for that student and remote learning for a period of time. Now, since April, DPS has tried to figure out a plan to get students back in the classroom, and a big part of that conversation has been personal protective equipment. We will hear from DPS later this morning on its plan to distribute PPE to schools and if more PPE needs to be acquired. Reporting live, MICAH Smith, Denver 7.
MICAH, thank you. And coming up later on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m., we go 360 on whether students should be required to wear masks in school. You'll hear perspectives from medical experts, teachers, parents, and students about that possibility.
Governor Polis continues to stress the need to wear masks in public across the state. The governor appeared on ABC's This Week yesterday morning, and he says he wants the message to be clear that masks will help us move forward.
Masks are a ticket to more freedom. It makes it less likely that businesses will be shuttered. It makes it less likely that people will die. It makes it more likely school will return.
Governor Polis also says having a clear message will help to not confuse the growing number of tourists coming from states where masks are not mandated. He says no matter where you live, masks are required in our state.
Here is our latest look at the COVID-19 cases in Colorado from over the weekend. There were 350 new cases reported yesterday. That brings our total to more than 40,000 since the pandemic started. The number of hospital beds in use by COVID patients continues to rise. There are 401 hospital beds in use, but that's still half of what we saw in April. 8 states across the country set records over the weekend for the number of daily deaths. They include nearby Texas and Utah. Still, President Trump appeared on Fox News yesterday to downplay the rising number of cases.
Many of those cases are young people that would heal in a day. They have the sniffles, and we put it down as a test.
In hard-hit Los Angeles, the mayor says another full stay-at-home order shutdown is looming. The mayor admitted LA opened too quickly. Earlier this month, indoor restaurant dining and bars were closed in Los Angeles County.
The number of cases are rising across the country as lawmakers continue to debate a new stimulus package. ABC News confirms the president is not fully on board with the new plan, which provides more funding for testing and contact tracing. The Senate Republican proposal includes $25 billion in grants to states for testing and contact tracing. There would also be $10 billion for the CDC and $15 billion for the National Institutes of Health.
Denver City Council will meet again tonight virtually. City Council went back to online meetings after too many protesters crowded into a City Council meeting and they were not social distancing. The council president says there are some advantages to the virtual meetings.
I think it opens the door to a whole new group of people to participate in their local democracy, and I'm excited about that.
You can get links to the virtual Denver City Council meetings right now on the City Council's website.
Air Care Colorado opens 2 new emissions testing sites this morning. One is on Parkland Way in Parker, the other on Rogers Road in Longmont. Both will open this morning at 8 a.m. Emission sites have been jam-packed the past couple months with cars lined up for hours. Air Care Colorado suggests visiting sites in the middle of the week or later in the afternoon.
Parade of first responders with lights flashing made its way to the 720 Memorial in Aurora overnight to honor the victims and survivors of the Aurora theater shooting 8 years ago. In what has turned into a tradition, Aurora police announced a 12-second moment of silence over its dispatch radio, a second for each person killed that night.
Tonight is one of those times just to remember those people that went to a movie and the men and women of the Aurora Police Department went to save the others that were in that theater.
And this is a live look right now at the 720 Memorial. It opened in 2018 and features 83 cranes, one for each person who died and survived that shooting.
See the artwork on the sidewalk there. Earlier in the day yesterday, chalk artists left messages on the sidewalks around the memorial to pay their respects. And among those that stopped by to
I mean, of course it's hard. I lost my son and he was just a light.
So that chalk art will be on display until the rain washes them away.